Okay, without taking much of our time, we're going to start the class today. So we're going to still work with the data set that we started with yesterday. So I hope the others can join soon. So I'll just go straight into what we have for today. So we're going to create a report. I'm going to show you how to create a report, which we can translate or kind of render into um, a web document. We're not going to deal with creating PDFs or Word document reports today. So we're just going
It's
to
here,
look
man.
at the stuff. So can you hear me?
Yes, very
Yes,
much.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. So let me just put the mic close to my mouth today. Okay. So now from what we've done yesterday, we're just going to make sure that we are connected to the database like we did yesterday. So then we also create some objects within our environment. So I think I'm connected here. So first we want to read the data. That's the locations data from the database. So then that's what we'll save in this variable. We're giving it a name as an object so that we can have access to it. So we don't go back and forth from the database. So this is what we have. So we read the information and now we have the locations data within our environment. So let me just run this. Then we have the information here as shown. So the next thing is the shops. So we'll read that as well. Then employees, then finally the suppliers. So all these are available within our environment. Okay. So let me just bring this down. So what we want to look at now for today is that we want to enhance the analysis we started yesterday. So today we want to look at getting information about sales performance by region using salaries as a proxy for sales. So what we're going to do is that we need to look at joining data sets. So we did something like this yesterday, and we're going to do the same now. You have to join data sets when you don't have enough information from one object, maybe a data frame now. So if you don't have enough information there that you can use for your analysis, then you have to join, kind of bring some information from the other tables. So the first one that we have here is kind of large data sets. So let me just try and do something quick. We'll look at this data set now so that we'll be able to see what we have. So a view. So you can also just click on the object name from the environment tab and you'll be able to see it, but you can also use this function. So now what we have here is the employee ID, first name, last name, email, hire date, gender, salary. The last one is the coffee ID. And we have 1,000 entries here. So 8 columns and 1,000 rows or observations. So we don't
Sorry,
have
sorry,
information.
sorry, madam.
Okay.
Sorry, madam.
Mhm.
It's not displaying here. I'm not seeing it here. The view, I'm
Oh,
not
you
seeing
can't
it
see.
here. Now I can see it now.
Okay. Okay. So can everybody see my R Studio?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. So if I run this, we'll be able to see the data set now. So with the 8 columns and 1,000 observations or entries or rows as you might want to use. So let me save these again. So what we want to achieve is that we need sales performance by region. This table here only has information about employees and where they are located. Okay. That's the coffee shop ID. So they are working with coffee shop ID 1 for the first observation. That's the first staff. The second one is also with coffee shop 1. Then the third one is coffee shop 2. So we have information about shops. Okay. So now we also need to join this, because if we're talking about sales performance by region, then we need the shops as well, information about the shops, because using ID might not communicate the right information. Nobody wants to guess which one is coffee shop ID 1 or coffee shop ID 2. So that should tell you that, okay, I need those information. So if we join that with shops, that's another data frame. We can only join by something that is common to both of them, and which is the coffee shop ID, as we've seen here. Okay. So we are joining by this. Okay. So if I select this to now, I run it, I can view that as well in a table format. So I'm going to just copy and drop it here. So I want us to look at each of the codes one by one, the line of codes. So we don't just run everything through. So I will view this now. So now what we have here is this. We have everything from the employees table up to this one, because this is common, it's not going to be repeated. So now we have the coffee shop name and the city ID. City ID doesn't communicate so much, although it's a unique identifier. We need to have something meaningful that can communicate information to our audience that's going to view the report. So now we need something that could give us that information here, and that's going to be from the locations table. So if we join that, we are going to join based on another unique ID that we have that is common both to the locations table and this new data set that we generated. Is actually coming from the shops table. So now that gives us the opportunity to be able to join with the locations table. So if I replace this now, we'll be able to view again. So if I run this now, so we would not just have the city ID, we will also have the city name and country. So that helps us to do that. So now, based on what we want to do, we want to look at sales by region. So now we have all this information in one single table, because everything now is now combined as just one. Okay, is now one. So what we will need to do is that we want to group by country first. We're grouping by country first. Next, we'll group by city. So if I take this and run, let me run that instead of copying it out. The information that I need to share with you is this. This is the groups that we have. So now we have groups based on the country and the city. And it's telling you that we have 3 groups. The number that is shown here is based on the first grouping that we created, not on the cities. The cities might be more than that. I'm not sure. Let me go for the locations now. So, okay, locations too is 3, but in some instances might be more than that. So now the 3 now stands for both, because we have only 3 cities and 3 countries as well. I okay, we have 2 countries. Okay. Yeah. So now it's 2 countries and 3 cities. So basically we'll have to go with what we have here. So we cannot eliminate the 3rd city. That's why we have to have 3 groupings, because we first grouped by country, which is 2. Then the next grouping is going to be by city. Okay. So it should be familiar with all these technicalities that, okay, let me be sure of what is going on. So, but the ways you can be sure of this, we wouldn't be able to cover that now, but just know that, okay, you can always go back and check. So now we have 3 groupings now based on the country and the city. So this is where we will now be able to do summarization, like aggregates. So the first thing that we want to look at is the total salary. Okay. We want to look at total salary, sales performance by region. That's our target. But we are also using salaries as a proxy for the sales. Okay. So that is what we want to achieve. Maybe this is our task that was given to us by our supervisor. Then we have to be sure that, okay, we are doing this the right way. So now we need to look at the total salary first, then average salary. Okay, these are just aggregate or summary statistics that we want to kind of calculate. Then the number of employees. So these are the information that we can get from here. Okay, for now. Okay, so now we are going to save everything that we do here. Then we finally arrange by the total salary that was created here. So let's first of all run this. I'll select everything here, then enter. So we have 3 rows now, 3 rows, but 5 columns. The first 2 columns are the columns that are used for the groupings. Then the last 3 are the newly generated variables that we achieved through this function, summarize. So this gives us all the information that is required. So we have, for United Kingdom, the total salary that we have here is something close to 85, I think 8,585,485. Maybe naira or dollars. We want to just use that, but the average salary here is 40,000, more than 40,000. The number of employees are 214. So, and the same thing goes for the other locations. So if you look at the output, we are now arranging in descending order. So we want to kind of change that so that we have the highest first and the least last. So I would select everything again, run it before we save. So now we have the highest first, then followed by the next one, then the last one is the least. So please, if you have any question at this point, you can ask. So, but this is some of the ways that we can make sense of data. We are trying to analyze our data, manipulate it, and get some information, insights from our data. So after doing this, let's save it because we cannot continue to combine and choke everything up together. We might not get the real thing that we needed. So I'll run this now. Then we should be able to have sales performance data set here. So and this is what we have. So it's been saved in our environment as a data frame now. So it's a new data frame that we have. So I'll go back to the reports now. So the next thing that we want to look at is the employee trends over time. Okay. So we've achieved the sales performance now. Okay. For these ones, let's just look at it and place these ones here. But the actual sales is not yet combined with what we have here. Okay. But we're looking at the salaries first because that is the proxy we're using for the sales. So we're still going to get there where we'll combine all this so that we'll make sense of it. So the next thing is going to be the employees' salary trends. So we want to look at the employees, then we look at the way we can create a new variable that is going to be converted to a year, the year now. So yesterday I showed you how we can extract the year components from our date. So what we did here is this. First, you convert that character. From here now, you can see the higher date. Okay, so, sorry. Here, it's seeing it as the hire date. But in cases where you don't have it as date format, then you have to convert. So for you to be able to kind of be strict, you can still add this. So I will run this one, then we have another, the employees table as it is, but the hire date now is in the date format. Okay, I've run this before earlier. So that's why we're seeing it as the dates, as the date format. So I needed to be sure that everything was working properly. So the next thing is for okay, the salary trends now. So if we look at the salary trend, we're going to look at employees data sets. We will group by this. Okay, we're going to group by what? We're going to group by higher year because that's the last new data set that we have. Okay, new variable, sorry, in our employees. It was 8 before, now we have 9 variables. So 9 variables now. We've added a new variable or column by running this code. We executed the mutate function to create a new one that is the higher, which extracted, yeah. So it extracted the year component of our date. Okay. So that is sorted out there. So you can see it's 2015, 2014, 2015, and so on. So the next thing is that we want to use that same higher year. We'll group the employees by the higher year. That means all employees that are going to be for 2015 are going to be grouped together, 2014 grouped together, and so on and so forth. Then we look at the average salary and the number of employees that are actually getting that average salary. So running this, you have something like this. So we have 14 years, so 2010, 2011, 12, up to 2023. Okay. So then we also have the average salary here for each of these groups. For those employees that were employed in 2010, the average salary is 34,336, and they
That
are
is not being
69.
displayed,
But
man. It's
you
not being
said
displayed. It's not being displayed.
I didn't change my
Uh-huh.
screen. I'm still
Now
there.
you just
I
change
didn't
it
change.
now. No, it wasn't being displayed before. So I can see it now.
Okay, that's good.
I'm seeing it too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's just move on. Just let me know if you can't see, then I would still kind of slow down, then we'll be able to get the best out of it. So now the next thing is we need to save this as a data object, so as a data frame. So we still get our data in chunks. So we have now the employee salaries trend over time. So first, we dealt with this. We created a new variable. Next, we now generated the trends, which is now saved as a new data frame. So next, we want to look at supplier contributions to coffee. So the same thing, we can't get all the information in one place. We need to know suppliers that are working with which of the shops. So that's why we're combining this together. That's the suppliers and shops data frame. Then we need to also get information about their city name. So this is that. So now we need to group by supplier name and the city. Then we calculate the number of shops. Then we drop the groupings. Okay. So that is actualized now. So the next thing is that all what we've generated are kind of like table, and we're still talking about black and white. So let's create some visuals that would make sense. And these visuals are what we are going to use to do what? To generate our reports. Okay? So the first thing that we want to do is that we're not going to add this part of another class. So It's not for this class. So it's going to be for the next boot camp by God's grace. So that's what we're going to use there. So the color palette is actually to generate a branded report. But here we're not going to generate branded reports. So it's exclusively for that class. So now we're going to create a new ggplot. Like we did in class yesterday, we talked about how to create our plots. So the first thing is I'm going to drop this down so that we can see everything in the screen here. So first we are reordering the data sets. We can reorder our data this way, or we use the forecast function FCT reorder, but I'll take this out. So then the next thing would be that, okay, we have the city, we have the total salary that's been reordered. So the cities that now are going to be reordered based on the values in the total salary. So because we are using this data set, remember, this is our data set, then the x-axis is going to take the city, while the y-axis is going to take the total salary. So then the colors, we're going to change the colors of each bar based on the country. So we have only 2 countries now. So then we need to let our ggplot know that, okay, we want to create a bar plot, and we have statistics of the data that we're going to use to create the size or the height of our bars. So this is what is going to happen. If I take it one by one, now you would see the plot here. Sorry, can everybody see the plot?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now let me just add another so I want it to be from the highest to the lowest. So this is going to be true. So let's try that again. So that's beautiful now. So now all what we have here doesn't make sense. Our labels on our axis is not neat. So let's change that. So that's where the labels layer comes in. So we give our plot a title. Then we also give the x-axis in this name, this new label, then the y-axis as well, this label. Then we associate a new theme to the plot, not to RStudio. Then we're going to flip the coordinates. So x will go to where y is supposed to be, then we'll be able to see something different. So we'll flip that now. I don't want to save it as an object yet. So if I flip this, then we'll have this plot. We'll have this plot now. Okay. So that is for this one. So let me make a tweak here. So I'm coming. I want it to leave. Yeah. So let me leave it this way. I don't want to. So since I'm flipping it, I would leave it this way. So let's save this visual as an object in our environment. So that is where you now assign it to this new object name or a variable name that is sales performance underscore plot. So for New York now, we know that the total salary is this, and we are able to kind of understand what is going on. So for Los Angeles, we are paying more. New York, that's the next one. Then the list is London. Okay, so that's for the values here. So we can still make some changes on the x-axis, but that's for another class. Okay, so now we've saved this object. So if we want to view the plot again, oh, excuse me. Okay. So if you want to look at the object that we've created now, we can use the name, run that, and you get the plot back. Remember, this is a ggplot object. So if you want to check the class or the type of object that you have, you can just use the class function to pass the name of the object into the function that you created. Then it's going to show you that I'm a GG object or a ggplot object. So that is showing you that it's not a data frame and it's not just an ordinary variable. It's a ggplot object. So there's something that we call grammar of graphics plot. So that is the full name there. So the same thing, we want to create a new plot. Here, we want to look at the salary trend. So trends is how the kind of the salaries fluctuate or changing based on the year. So how much are we paying per year? Is it going higher or coming down? So we need to look at that trend. So these are some of the things that you can add to your report. So in this instance, we're using the salary trends data frame that we generated. Then we're only going to use this higher year, but the lines that are now going to be created using the average salary. Okay, so you can split the here now. If you look at what we're creating now, we have only one geometry, but in this instance, we are creating two geometries now. So the first one is the line plot. So the line geometry now. Okay, so if I select this and run, you'll see only lines. Okay, but we want to add some kind of a point to where the values are located on this line. So that is where the second geometry comes in. So if I comment out this one, let me comment out the line for the geometry line function, then let me create only this one, the geom point. So you see the difference. So you can see that these are points now. So if we combine the two geometries together, we'll have the line stating where the points, showing where the points are, and also the line plot will show the trend. So I can change the colors, but might not make so much sense. But let me just put red here. Then you'll be able to see the difference. So but I'll change it back. So you can see where the points are. So it's starting from here, then it's getting here, then this is the second point, the third, fourth, and this should be for, I think, 2010 or so. Sorry, let's check. Okay, the environments now. I suppose this, no. Okay, so sorry, that's the plot. So this, okay. So, okay, the salary trend here is here. So we're starting from 2010, 11. So the plots here is going to be for 2010. This point is for 2010. Okay, let me use some annotations here. This is 2010. That will be 0. Okay, sorry for the 10. So this is going to be 11. And this will be 12. So this is going to be 13. You know, you can create interactive plots that you don't need to do all this. So this will be 14. So that is not part of the free class. So we'll do that some other time. So this is going to be 16. And so on and so forth. That's basically it. Okay. So, but actually this is going to be awkward if we're using two bright colors. Let's just stick with okay, let me clean up this. Let's stick with one color. You can change the color as you want. You want to, if you want to do the branding now, then we'll be able to change the color. Okay. So let's go back to the codes now. So I'll change this back to blue. So if I now select it and run, You'll see there's no actual difference. You can also change the size of the points. If it's too big, then you can change it as you want. So the next thing is that we add information to our plots, then we add something there. So this is employee salary trends over time. So that is for this one. So let's save that as an object as well. So the next one is the supplier contributions to coffee shops. That's what is the revenue that we're getting from here. So we can do this. Just I think it's the same thing. So we just run that, then we'll get some information. So the suppliers now, we're looking at, if you look at the data set itself, so the suppliers contribution now. So now for supplier name being me up, so he's only supplying to only one shop in London. So then also in Los Angeles as well as New York. So some other ones as well. Okay. Then vanilla bean is two in New York. So then the same thing, beans and barley is also two shops in New York. So we can see the trend in the visual as shown. So we can say that, okay, this is 1, 2, 1, 2. So, and the colors are helping us to differentiate between the cities. So that making sense, although the colors are not representing any brand, that is for another class. So we'll just let it be that way. So since we have our data in our environment, we can disconnect from the database, and that should save some of our information. So if you have any question at this point, you can ask before I go into creating reports with Quarto. If you have any question, so this is just kind of an example of reporting that we can create. That's what we're going to use all the visuals for. And I'll show you how we can do that. So if you want to create, do we have any question, or we should take a little break here?
Well, there's a question from here on my side. But I think
Okay.
I will still have a question at the end of everything because I have a question set down. But I don't know. Can I still ask it?
Yes, let's take a break and answer your question. Let's go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunities, ma. But ma, please,
Okay, thank
I will want to ask, if possible, can we have how do I call it now? Like an exercise from you, maybe that we can do on our own, then we report back to you, just to see how we have gathered some things for some days now.
Okay, okay.
And
Maybe
two,
I would. Okay, go
and
ahead.
two, and two, internship, because these analysis, data science, analysis requires ones to be intern under someone, maybe under a company or under an online firm. I don't know. Can one do that in your company, in your firm?
Mhm. Right now, we're not taking interns because taking an intern would mean that we will have to make some commitments and all this stuff. So, well, actually, the only way that I would want to suggest is maybe you join the upcoming boot camp. We're going
Okay.
to have a one-on-one mentorship coaching other than what we do in class. So there you have access to weekly exercises that will guide you through. Then you'll be able to have projects that you can fit into your portfolio for you to get kind of a
Okay.
job that is worthy. So this way we'll be able to help you. But right now we're not taking interns for now. We're not taking interns.
Oh, okay.
So, but I can always provide support in one way or the other that I can.
Okay. So what about the exercise after this
No, don't
training?
worry. Don't worry. I'll bring up something for you to do the exercise. Then I
Okay.
can look through. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you. So any other question, observations? Okay. Let's maybe we'll take like 5 minutes break and
Okay. Thank you.
okay. Okay, so I need to go back. Sorry, I hope you don't mind.
Okay, no, I don't mind.
At all. I
Okay.
don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So sorry. So we're going to create the documents again. So let me go back. Okay, so to create the Quarto documents, we're going to make it a little bit fast. So you go to Quarto document. This can be a presentation, but we're not going to go for presentation now. We'll go for Quarto document. So if we go for Quarto document, just give it a title, My Second Report. Okay. A second report, then who is the author, teacher? Okay, let's have fun. So we'll create that. We're going for the HTML output, not PDF, not Word document. But if you want that, you can still come here and change it, PDF or the doc. Okay, doc, the second option. So this will generate the Word document for you. So let me just render it and show you out. So just watch out for my file pane. You'll see that, okay, let's save it first. Control S, my maybe second documents. Okay. So we'll save that. So we have the Quarto there. So first, let's render this document to be a Word document. So you can just keep watching. Okay. Can you still see my R Studio? Please confirm if you can
Yes.
still see.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. So the document has been generated now. So I'll show you. Let me bring it up. Word document. Okay, my second document now. So this is my second document. You can see teacher, Quarto, the codes are there, and so on and so forth. That's for the Quarto, the Word document now. So if I want to now say, okay, maybe my second supervisor would not be interested in that, I'll go back to R Studio. You can generate all this together, but let's just do it one by one. PDF. I'll go for PDF now. I'll render that. Then watch the document side is going to add that as well. It's bringing it up, still converting. So, so this is the PDF is showing in the browser, but I can also open it up in, okay, let me go back to RStudio. So what we'll do is this, I'll just right click on, okay, let me just click on it. It's going to come out here. Okay, so this is it. So this is the document now in PDF format. So that is that. Then let's go back and convert that to, so we can change it back now to HTML. Okay, so just save that, then you render. Okay, so I have my second report. So that's the HTML stuff now. So let's go back to RStudio. Okay, so thank you so much, Boago, again. Thank you. So now I've shown you this is the visual view. Okay, this visual view. Then you can also, if you are conversant with Markdown, you can also do what? use your markdown skills here. So it's just, if you just about practicing. So practice makes perfect. This is going to be bold. So, but if you're starting, you are just starting. If I select this render now, you can see it's showing that it's bold. I can also click on this and make it italics, or use this button to make it look like a code, like you can see it's changed now. So, but I can take that out and it's still bold and italics. So if you go to the source, you'll see that it's no more two asterisks, it's now three. So that's for bold and italics. So if it's going to be only italics, it's going to be just one, I think, then two for bold. So that is for this one. Then you can play around with the header. If you want to make it one, it gets bigger. Make it three, it gets smaller. So from the markdown side, it's going to be one asterisk for header one, two asterisks for header two, and so on and so forth. So go back to the visual. This is where a beginner will start. It's safer. So you can add anything you want, anything. You can insert the code blocks, figures, paragraph. I want to add a paragraph. Hello from me. Okay, so can add anything you want. Pictures, browse, get something there. Maybe open. You can give a caption. Hello. Alternative text for if the web, if maybe it's not going to be rendered, it's not going to be showing there in the browser, you can put something there, my picture, that in case it's not showing then. But if you want to make your picture kind of a clickable object that would take them to another link, you can add another link here. So just click OK. Now we have the picture here and it's going to be within here, within your document. So it's going to be rendered together. So anything you want to do, you can add some heights, maybe 10. So that's going to be too small. Okay, that's awkward. Okay, Control Z, let's leave it back. Okay, so I can make it 100. Okay, this is 576, maybe 200. So it's okay, this is a little bit good. So I can leave it that way. But if I want to change again, you can just make some changes here. So what else? So you can insert so many things, insert tables, insert whatever you want there. It's a free world. So the table, insert tables 3 by 3, and you have it. You can put in anything there. So now we're going to stop up from the quick introduction here. Remember, whenever you make updates or make changes to your Quarto document, render it again, because if you don't render, it's not going to add what you've made. The updates you've added to your Quarto, it's not going to add it. So the picture might not be showing. So now if you look at the browser, now the picture is being added and we're good to go. So go back to this. Okay, good. Okay, so let's close all this now. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to our document for the report. So we're looking at sales performance by region. So another thing that you can see from the intro that we did, our code is showing in our document, our rendered document. If you're going to share this with your supervisor or your manager, that person might not even understand anything R, might not even know how you do your work. So you would want to hide the code because it's going to be boring. It's going to be distracting. It's not what they want. They don't have even the time to look at your code. We know you're super genius, but just keep your geniuses to yourself. Let's have the report. We need to make decisions. That's what we're saying. But you need your code in the Quarto document because that's what will help R to render your document. Without the codes, we're not going to see all the visuals that we're expecting. So this is okay. We need it. So, but you can always take out all this code. It's still going to run, but we don't want it shown in the document. So that's where we now say, okay, if I run my code, some messages might be printed out. I don't want that. So I set it to false. So instead of having just R like this, you can always add options by putting a comma after the R or SQL, whichever code that you're using. Then all the options are here. There's so many options here that you can use. You just need to know, okay, which one do I need? So that's just it. So include this also one thing. So, but we're going to stick with what we needed for this report. So I don't want any messages shown. I don't want warning shown. I don't want the code to be shown. So whatever is going to happen when I run my code, I don't want any of them shown here. I can also decide that I want to show the code, but I don't want to execute that code. It's possible, but we're not going to go into that now. Then you can also have a centralized setting for all your code. Okay, you can create that, add that as well. So, but let's do it one by one here for this class. So here, I've already said that. So we're loading the packages here. The only difference now is that this report is based on this code here. So let me save this. If I take out this, I comment it out. Let me comment this out. Okay. So I'll save this. Then I render the document again. Let me render that. Okay, so you can see it's telling me, I don't understand all this. I can't find sales performance. I can't do this. I can't do that because it's looking for the code. Okay, so if I comment this out just like it is, and I go back to this document and I decide to copy everything here. Okay, I already loaded the package, so I copy that out. And I decide to dump it here. It's rather too long, okay? So I don't want my code to be too much here. So I can source this, Control Z. So everything, I'll save this. In this document, it's okay to be here in a different document, my script. So what I would do is this, I would rather source it. So I will source the code from that document. So that is what we're doing here. This source function helped me to bring in all the codes from this document into this Quarto Markdown. So I save myself a lot of space. So I can focus on what I actually wanted here. I could have added this as well to this document, but I want to use this information here to explain some things. Okay? So this is what we did here. So all this information, we're not going to get it in our document. Okay, so that's just basically it. So we're not going to be able to do much at all. So now, from the analysis that we did here, we want to create some beautiful tables, not just data frame tables. This table, there's a package called GT. So it's used to create beautiful tables. So this function is going to use our data set, sales performance data set. We're going to give that table. If it's just an ordinary table, we won't be able to do all this additional stuff. So now it gives us the option to add a title to the table. Then we also have the opportunity to use some Markdown syntax. So instead of using the names of the column, so if I take this out, let me take this out. I'll comment this out. Okay. So take this out. Then okay, let me just leave it on just 2 or just 1. So I'll save this and then I will render again. Then we'll go and see what we have in the browser. Okay. Okay, so if you can see my browser now, this is the marketing and sales reports. So you can see it's giving me back the not too beautiful, I don't want to use the other word, column names. Okay, so which is not as beautiful as this one. Okay, so I want it to be different, like I have the title and I have something bold that's beautiful, it's captivating. So that is where the other aspect of our GT package comes in. So let me just uncomment this. Then I had the pipe. So that's going to cover that. So what I'm just doing is I'm putting some labels on the columns. I don't want that same thing that we see uh for this for the column name. So I want it to be capitalized, bold, and the same thing for the other columns. So if I save this now, we'll get something beautiful there. So then we're also going to look at the cells, the plots that we created, that ggplot objects. We want to print them out. So after each table, we have a plot that could explain what is in the table in case the person is so much in a hurry. I want to see the picture. So we'll see the picture, then we see the table, we see the picture, and also the table. So the picture as well, or the graph. So now let's render. Okay, so since it's still opened, let me go back there. So this is the final report from data analysis team and it's published today. So we have the sales performance, so which is depicting the salary and also the salaries being shown, how much are we spending there. Then now the salary trends over time, we look at that, then the contribution of this. We don't have all the visuals that we would have used for the sales, this thing, I cut that off. So it's for another class. So this is just some of the things that we can showcase here, and it's going to be meaningful to those who are going to see the report. So this is the report that we generated, and this is where I will stop for the free class today. And want to really appreciate all of you for being here. So I'm going to take some questions and comments before I do some quick marketing. So if there's anything, any question.
Wow. This is wonderful. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
thank
our
you.
dear anchor, motivator,
Thank you.
instructor, lecturer.
Okay. Oh.
You have
My
dealt with
head
the
is
topic.
swelling.
You actually dealt with the topic.
Okay.
I don't have much to say than to say thank you so much.
Okay,
It's
thank
like
you.
you look into my heart before you um came up with your lecture notes on Kwato.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay, thank
our
you so much.
discussion was what actually prompted you or not, but I just have to say thank you so much for this. It's
Okay.
going to help me a
Okay.
lot in my office. I really appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much too. Thank you. Really appreciate that. So comments or questions, if you have any question or comments. So while I'm waiting for the
Okay, my question
question.
is, okay, hello
Okay, go
guys,
ahead.
hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hello. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Maybe network. Maybe network.
Okay, I think it's the network. Yeah. Margot, can you still hear me? You can still ask your question. So Chukwemeka, you still with us? If you have questions or comments, you can go ahead. So Akinkunmi, I know we have something to deliver after the class. So any comments, observations? Okay, I think is not online. Okay, I think it's the network. Okay, so let me do a little bit of marketing. I'm an instructor and also a data scientist, and I do trainings once in a while, and I also organize workshops. Okay, I think Vago is back. Okay, so you can go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to ask if you are going to have similar workshops or webinars every month or what? I'm currently in Botswana,
Yeah,
and it's my first time to. I really like R, so I'm still
okay.
learning R.
Okay, good, awesome. So we have a boot camp that is coming up next month. If you would want to join, that's where I'm going into now. So let me just bring up the flyer. I'll share with you as well. So where is it? Okay. So I think I can share this. So this is going to be coming up next month. Okay. So data analysis mastery with R and SQL. So we're going to have it. It's going to be exclusively online. So we are having live weekend classes just like this. Then we're going to have recorded videos that will help you through so that we don't spend too much time over the weekend. So it's going to be just 2 hours on Saturdays and Sundays. So that is what we're going to do. So it's going to be based on issues that come up during the week. So we'll have a kind of an online class on Thinkific that was going to be hosted there. So you would have access to that. So then we'll have weekly assessments that you can do. Then at the end of each module, we'll have some projects that you can add to your portfolios based on your mastery of R and SQL. So then we'll also have some career guidance that we're going to give to help you get job and kind of get better in future. So that is that. So you have to register. Then this is going to be the equivalent in Naira, and this is going to be the equivalent in dollars. So for those who register, for those who are here, if you're interested, I'm willing to give some discounts. So for those, if you are here for this free class, I'll give some discounts if you're going to join the class. So we're going to start by July 15th. That's when we're going to get the class started. So I believe this could help. It's going to be an 8 weeks class. So I believe whoever is going to get into it should be able to get something good with a data analysis job, because I'm going to share the curriculum now. I'm coming. So sorry, somebody's, does it provide a certificate? Yes, we're going to give you a certificate at the end of the day. Yeah, we're going to give you. So in this one, we're going to go a little bit in depth into the course. We're going to learn more, and it's going to be kind of scenario based. We're not just going to be doing theory. We're going to be working as a data analyst within a company. We'll have some projects that we'll be working through. As we're learning, we're practicalizing what we're learning. So it's not just, okay, R is this, SQL is this, and all this stuff. So no. So then we'll look at the business problem, meeting with stakeholders and all this stuff. You learn practical stuff. So the data cleaning and preparation, exploratory data analysis, we're going to go through that. We're going to do this with both R and SQL. Okay. So then in-depth analysis, then we'll look at some advanced queries, advanced data manipulation stuff, like what Akintunde asked in the class yesterday about the string R and all this stuff. So we're going to do some complex manipulations there. Then also advanced SQL queries. Then we'll go into statistical analysis and stuff. Then time series analysis and forecasting. We're also going to build some predictive models. So you should be ready to do some coding. So that's going to be that. Then visualization and communication will go more than what we did with Quarto. We're going to do more than that. Then we're going to look at branding, not just using colors that comes with R. We're looking at if my organization has some colors that they work with, how do I incorporate that into my report? That will make it much more sensible, not just using any colors. So it's, picture speaks a lot. So then we have our projects that we're going to do, then career guidance and beyond that as well. So before we round up. So this is going to help you to have technical skills and understand how to apply them in real world business context, providing a more immersive and practical learning experience. So I'm hoping to do more and help share my own knowledge. Then if you're willing to join, it's something that I'll be really glad you joined, because I know I'm going to give in my all. I have one of my students here in previous classes. So I believe you're going to enjoy it. So that is where I'm going to draw the curtain here. So I'll share the flyer with you. So if you're going to join, I know those who are in this class, you can get a discount of 25%. Then we'll be able to have you on board. So, okay. Okay. Okay, Akintunde, thank you so much. So that is that for the upcoming classes. So for this 2-day workshop, I'm also going to share your certificates with you as well. So it's not just going to be this. Then the code is going to be updated. So you just need to pull that same GitHub repo. So I'm going to also teach you how to do that. You don't have to keep, I just experienced that. And although I have most of my files online, but it's ugly when you lose your data. So I'm going to also teach you how to do that. So you can see that my Git tab is already showing me that, okay, I've made some changes. You need to push them there and all this stuff. So I know what to push. I know when to push that. So that is, it allows you to collaborate with your friends and your teammates and all this stuff. So you don't have everything on your laptop. So this is going to be part of what we're going to do as well. And I think it's more than the money you're going to pay. It's more than that. So so this is where I'm going to stop for the marketing. I'm not so good there with marketing, but I believe I've done a bit of justice here. So thank you. And if you have comments, you can share with me. So then we'll be able to do some things here. So let me, okay. Yeah, GitHub is going to be part of the training because you're going to be acting as a data analyst and we're going to be working as a team. So you're not going to be working alone. So you're going to work individually and also as a team. So that's it. So I'm going to push everything that I've done here and we should be able to get that in the next minute. So I'll just make some updates there. So whatever I don't want to push, I wouldn't push. So thank you, everybody. So I'll share the certificates and also the code with you. I'll send the email. So thank you so much. I'll stop the recording here.